Let's do an energetic overview of where we are in the ascension journey right now, because an interesting thing is happening. Let me paint you the visual. Here we are in the ascension line. So imagine it as literally as that whole lot of human beings stretching out into one. It's not literal, right? This is just for the sake of getting an understanding of what's going on. Whole lot of human beings stretching out in a line in this thing called the ascension queue. All that means is people who are aligning themselves to ascension. People like you, people like me. What does that take? Well, connection to self, connection to truth, the ability to feel. I get so many people in my comment section that say to me, oh, I'm not going to ascend because I still smoke cigarettes. I'm not going to ascend because I still get depressed. Mind-blowing stuff. Ascension is about losing judgment, not about perfection. How much acceptance of self can you get into? How much self-honoring can you get into? And can you self-honor whilst smoking a cigarette? I personally couldn't. And yes, I did smoke for 10 very harrowing, long years of my life. I'm the worst ex-smoker, by the way. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but I'm the worst ex-smoker because now when I'm around cigarette smoke, everything in me recoils. If you're a smoker, I love you. I'm not judging you. It's just I can't be around the smell of the smoke. But can you? It's not about, I'm not going to make your ascension happen or not. You are. And it's not about what you're putting into your body. I have released videos about this before. People keep saying to me, oh, I eat meat. That means I'm not going to ascend. What madness is this? I do this. I take medication. That means I'm not going to ascend. Okay, whoa. Then you misunderstand what ascension is. It is not how much can I judge myself? Can I hold myself to these ridiculous standards that I can't achieve? Can I lambaste myself and sit in a pool of my own unworthiness? Because self-punishment and self-condemnation and self-criticism will not ascend you. But these are the tools of the false matrix. These were the tools that the false matrix taught all of us. The false matrix essentially said, look, if you want to be a good person, you've got to do a little bit of self-chastising. You've got to do this little bit of self-condemnation. And in fact, it wasn't a little bit, it was a whole awful lot. So we're trying to use the tools that we learned in the false matrix to walk us into the organic matrix, which is the organic creation template. That is what ascension is. It is the collapsing of one matrix and then the birth, the rebirth from the rubble and the ashes like the phoenix rising. The true matrix is established within you. So that's based on how much self-acceptance, how much self-honoring can you step into. When you start getting those things in place, what follows that is stillness, connection, presence. I've released videos on this before. I'll leave them in the video description box below. These states of being start coming online for you. And when they do, there you are in the ascension line, aligning yourself to higher consciousness. But there's a wibbly wobbly energy coming in right now, which is the dark ones wanting to take some people out of the line so that they've got food stock, fuel stock, and energy resource of some sorts to tide them over and help them to reestablish another false matrix somewhere else. Now they know, this is interesting, they know that they cannot reestablish the false matrix here on Earth because too much has occurred, wherein Earth can only be returned at this stage. Earth can only be returned to the organic creation template. That's to God, source, creator, consciousness, and all that is of the original organic creation, also known as the organic matrix. So as that false matrix collapses and crumbles, there are those trying desperately to keep it alive by creating this wobble. So what's the wobble? Have you seen it? Have you fallen for it? Let me tell you what it is. Labels. You see, the false matrix cannot label you, but you can label yourself. This is the genius, the very unhealthy, very psychopathic genius of the architects of the false matrix. They knew that they couldn't put you in a prison, but you could imprison yourself. They knew that they couldn't chastise you, but they could get you to chastise yourself. That their judgment of you wouldn't really demean your frequency, but your self-judgment would. So all that they did is they left the breadcrumbs to lead people into being their own demise. Self-betrayal is another one of them. So right now there is this monumental effort on for divide and conquer, but it looks like this. It looks like people really becoming loyal to labels, and I want you to be aware of this in your own life. Anywhere where there's a label, there's division. Now, that doesn't mean you can't like something. I'm going to use a very silly example. Let's just imagine, right? I've got to move my chair forward because it's bumping against the window and I've got the squeaking noise in my ear. So let's just imagine that we're at an ice cream shop. Yeah, you and me at an ice cream shop. I don't actually eat ice cream, but let's just use that as our example. And there we are, we're looking at all the flavors of all the ice cream, and I say to you, I really like bubblegum, and you're outraged, and you go, Kerry, don't you know that bubblegum flavor was once the enemy of strawberry, and bubblegum was the worst, so now everybody has to like strawberry, and I'm going to go, but I really like bubblegum. And you're going to go, well, that's wrong. Strawberry is the only viable choice right now, and if you don't choose strawberry, then you are not with me, then you're against me. This is what happens when you move beyond, I like this flavor, I like this thing, into it's my identity. At that point, you're going to go to war to defend that identity. But what's worse than that is you've separated yourself out from your wholeness and your multidimensionality, because the truth in this little scenario, this little example of the ice cream shop, the truth is you are every flavor. And you're the ice cream maker, and you're the cone, and you're the person buying the ice cream, and you're the shop itself, and you're the mall that the shop is in. You're everything. But the moment you make yourself small, and of course we do this in countless ways. We do this with our diet. We do this with food preference. We do it with body shape. We do it with religion. We do it with race groups, skin color. We do it with so many things. Ethnicity, I'm this kind of a person, I'm that kind of a person. Sexuality, labels, division, labels, division. You can always have preference. You can always like bubblegum. Right? If that's your flavor of ice cream, I really like bubblegum. So I'm not saying that the other flavors are bad. I'm just saying that right now, and it could change right now, I really like, for example, bubblegum. Right? It's when you exclude everything else that you start rejecting parts and pieces of you, and you start creating a false persona for yourself. You start creating a jail for yourself, and that's the wobble. The wobble is the divide and conquer that you're going to see going on right now. So what do? You be the remedy. How do you be the remedy? You be whole, be wholeness, be the ice cream shop. How do you be the ice cream shop? You sit in silent presence and you start engaging in your totality. If you need guided meditations to walk you into that state of being, either come join my online community where you're going to get so many weekly doses of not just guided meditations, but energy work to get you right into that exceptional, expansive presence that is you, or you go do some guided meditations, mine, your own, somebody else's, I don't care. Do what you've got to do to bring yourself into unity consciousness, which means wholeness within, which means no rejection of any part of you, which means no judgment of any part of you. Do you understand that what you judge about yourself, you shame about yourself, you reject about yourself, you now need to reclaim? That is how you be the remedy. You not just reclaim it, you reclaim it with acceptance. And that's why I spoke earlier about judgment and how that... Sorry, I gotta put this noise off before it drives my little ears nuts. So that's what happens when you judge yourself. You become the wobble. So the breadcrumbs are there to make you wobble. And there are people out there who are flying their flag, whatever it is, for whatever label that they've identified themselves as or to be, or their affiliation is with, and they start demanding everybody else start observing and bowing down to the thing that they have labeled themselves as, or other people have labeled themselves as. This is a denial of self. And when there's a denial of self, you're always going to have to go back later on and reclaim. Now, to be clear, am I saying then that if you're a man, for example, that you are both male and female? I have no doubt people are going to ask me this in the comment section. Am I saying that when I say you're everything, does that mean you're all sexualities? Does that mean you're all sexes? Does that mean you're all religions? You're all flavors of ice cream? It simply means you are what you are right now. My body is a female body, and my orientation is to be in my divine feminine and in femininity. I'm very aware that I have a dominant masculine energy. We all do, right? This is totally beyond gender. This is the wholeness of who we are. But it's when I condemn and I say men are bad. It's when I condemn and I say women are right or righteous or they've been wronged or you must do more things for women than you would for men. The moment we break ourselves down into these labels, we've divided and conquered ourselves. Then we stop being a human being. We stop being a person. We start being a gender. And that is the agenda for division. That is the agenda for giving people labels and making them. See how clever it is? You make them defend their label. You make them fight for it. You make them loyal to the label, at which point they have totally discarded the self. And what you're doing when you're standing in that ascension line is you're standing in your totality, your allness and your fullness. So don't get out of the queue. Don't forsake yourself, because that is what the system is trying to do right now. It's trying to get people to forsake themselves, to discard their totality. So from my heart, I do hope you feel it all the way into yours. I send you so much love and peace. May you feel this reverberant silence within you, and may your very own wisdom answer it. Lots of love, everyone. Bye-bye for now.